Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Skiera, aka Stations Guy, and my guest on today's show is Friday the 13th, the film, the original. Today is Friday the 13th, March 13. And interestingly, about this year, 2026, we have three Friday the 13th. One was last month in February. We have this one today in March, and there'll be a third one in November. So the most you can have in one year is three. So we're blessed this year with three Friday the 13th. So I thought I would do a show dedicated to Friday the 13th, the movie. I'm a big horror film buff, particularly the early slasher films like Friday the 13th, Halloween, and so on. And I've been to the camp in Hardwick, New Jersey, where around 80% of Friday the 13th was filmed. I've met some of the actors and actresses from the first and the second film. They were there during the two different trips that I made. And so I thought I'd share some of those pictures and stories with you. Um, I'd like to start off with Adrienne King, and I just can't say enough nice things about Adrienne King. She played Alice in the first film and in the second film where she gets killed, but uh, such a nice lady. She loves her fans. Um, she still has the original boots that she wore in the movie, and sometimes she'll put those in a picture if you're taking a picture with her. And she used to have a deal with a winery which did Friday the 13th themed wines, and I bought some from her or from the winery. This is one of them. It's called Crystal Lake Moonlit Chardonnay. And if you can see it on there, she wrote, "Don't lose your head." Smiley face, Adrienne King, Alice. And this is made by Valley View Winery in Jacksonville, Oregon. And I don't think they do this anymore. I went on the web earlier, a little earlier, and I didn't see it. So I'm not sure you can get these anymore. But I've got a few bottles that I have not cracked open yet, but very nice lady. Took some pictures with her. Also, I met Ari Lehman, who was the original. He calls him Jason, or first Jason, he calls himself, and he was the kid that drowned in the lake. He portrayed the child, and he was a child then. Another very nice guy. He has a band. I think it's sort of like a heavy metal band or heavy rock band. I actually interviewed him and separately Adrian for an article I did for a blog. Um, and I got some pictures of them together in a canoe on the beach of the camp. It was cool to see them reunited. Um, Adrian is 65 now, and Ari is 60. And it kind of blows your mind, when you meet these people today because you're used to seeing them back in the day, 1980 of the film, seeing them then, and all of a sudden you see them now, and it's like, whoa, they've aged, but aged gracefully, most of them. Adrian, still a very attractive woman. Ari, nice looking guy. Um, who else did I meet? Well, actually, let me show you some pictures I have here uh, that I have ready to go that they signed for me. So here's Adrienne King's photo that she signed. And that's Ari in the background in makeup as the dead child. And here's one from Ari. So that's pretty cool. I met Sean Cunningham, who was the director of the original Friday the 13th. He's a bit on the short side. I think he's kind of self-conscious of it because when I met him and got a picture taken with him, he was standing on a box. But this is the picture. I printed this off the internet. It was many years ago. He's much younger. That's the picture he signed for me. These days, he's got a goatee. He actually looks very good in a goatee. And I asked when he signed this, I said, Sean, would you like just take your silver marker and draw in a goatee? No, I'm not going to do that. He actually got angry at me and yelled at me. And I was quite startled. I wasn't expecting that reaction at all. I figured, yeah, sure, why not? What the heck? But he was not happy with that request and didn't do it. Instead, he grabbed one of these sort of postcard-sized things and signed it. And that's how he looks today with the goatee. But I was rather surprised that he acted in that way, and I wondered, what else sets him off? Does he just fly off the handle easily? What does he like to work with as a director? Anyway, other than that, the meeting went well, and he was fine. Um, what else can I show you for pictures? I met, well, I didn't meet, but I interviewed Victor Miller, who wrote the script for the original Friday the 13th. And he and Sean got into a legal battle over who owned the script. And Sean claimed that he hired Victor. He was an employee. Victor said no, he was an independent contractor and he owns the work. He ended up winning that case for the U.S., but Sean retained the rights for Europe or something like that. It's a bit convoluted, but uh, Victor won, I guess, for the U.S. anyway. But he signed this. This is a picture of the script, and he signed this for me. Victor, by the way, is 85, still going. They're supposedly working on a prequel series, and he's supposedly working on those scripts. But there's been issues with directors and whoever else, and changes and so on. So I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day, but that will be interesting if it does. I also met Henry Manfredini, who's now 82, another really nice guy, nicest guy you'll probably ever meet. He did the score, the soundtrack for most of the films, not all of them, but most of them, and for the video games. And I had him sign this. I printed this off the internet. It's the score to Friday the 13th main theme. And he signed it for me. Interestingly, I used to be able to read music. I can't anymore. I haven't done that for years. I played the piano and the accordion, and I could read music and play, but I can't now. But when I gave this to him, he said, "Oh, this is the disco version." I'm like, "Really?" I used to own a 45 RPM single of the disco version of the Friday the 13th film. And he said to me that he just came up with the disco version on his own. They didn't ask him to do it. He just thought, oh, I think it'd be kind of fun and neat to have a disco-fied version. So that's what this score is of, and he signed it for me. Another young lady that I met was Robbie Morgan, who played Annie. And she says on here that I'm an American original because the truck driver, the guy who played the truck driver who picks her up and gives her a ride towards the camp, he called her an American original. But she was cute and bubbly and very nice to meet. I also met uh, Officer Dorf, who was played by Ron Milkey, who's now 71. There he is with Kevin Bacon. And he had, I don't know if he had the original uniform that he wore, but he was dressed up as a cop when I met him. I thought that was cool that he did that. That was kind of neat. Um, I met, let's see, what's her name? She played Claudette in the first film. And, Deborah Hayes, Deborah S. Hayes. This is her. I met her. And notice the shirt she's wearing. And notice the shirt I'm wearing. Yes, this is an authentic official Camp Crystal Lake shirt. You'll find knockoffs, but they don't have the printing over the pocket like the originals did. So the original camp counselors wore this shirt. They had blue, navy blue shorts, which I'm not wearing. Actually, I'm not wearing any pants at all. No, I'm just kidding. But so that's that. I also, while I was there, I bought this. So the original docks that were in the lake that were used for the film, those eventually fell apart, rotted, whatever. They ripped them out, and they cut up some pieces of the wood and made things out of them. So this is just a necklace of a piece of wood from the original dock. They made pens, they made picture frames, all different kinds of stuff you can get on the website. They have signed memorabilia, all different things. It all goes to support the Camp Nobi Bosco, and they actually share some of that revenue with a camp down the road. When Sean Cunningham and the crew were going to shoot the movie, they actually got lost, and they didn't go to the camp they intended to go. They ended up at Camp Nobi Bosco and paid them, I think it was 25,000 for the use of the camp for a few days to shoot there. So the other camp basically got screwed. Um, so Camp Nobi Bosco shares some of the revenue that they get from people who visit the camp with the other camp. You can't just show up and walk around. You have to buy tickets and go there, and it's during certain times of the year because it is a fully functioning, full-time camp otherwise for kids to go to. And when they're not sort of in season doing the camping thing, they open it up to Friday the 13th fans. It was a great experience going to the camp, walking around. They haven't restored the camp to the way it looked in the movie. They've sort of put some props and things in there, but it's, like I say, it's a working camp for kids, so they can't make it into the movie set permanently. So they throw some things in there to sort of approximate it, but it's not exactly the way it was in the film. But before I get to some of the camp pictures, I want to go into part two because I met some of the actors and actresses from part two, which, by the way, part two, the camp used in that movie was not Camp Nobi Bosco. It was a camp in South Kent, Connecticut, which no longer exists. They tore everything down, flattened it, just raised the whole thing, and there's a house there now. They did that in 2009, so that's gone, unfortunately. But I got to meet Amy Steele, who has the honor of being one of the, I'm not sure the only, but one of the only women who survived Jason and Friday the 13th. She played Ginny, and she was very nice to meet. Um, who else did I meet? I met John Fury, who played Ginny's boyfriend, Paul. He was a nice guy. Here he is here telling me I can't get seconds on dessert. And then let's see, I met Bill Randolph, who played Jeff in the film. He's now 72. And Bill, you would not recognize him. He has glasses. Obviously, he looks older. Um, like I say, it's funny when you meet these people today. It's like, you're not him. You're not her. Uh, and then I also met, um, let's see, Lauren Marie Taylor, otherwise known as Vicky. This is her. This is her here. Um, and what did she write on here? Oh, my cabin or yours? Yeah. Um, and there were some pictures. She didn't. She told me that she really didn't like that picture originally. It shows her in this brown underwear, and there may be another picture of her maybe holding up the brown underwear. She didn't like signing those, but she said she's okay with it now, and she signs them. She's still a very attractive lady, and I hope that if I get married and if the woman is 64 or turns 64, that she looks that good because she was really cute and flirtatious and nice. Um, we took a group picture at the camp, and I had everybody yell Muffin because Muffin was the name of the dog in part two. So that picture of us all together, they're saying Muffin. But it was all very, very nice people to meet. The other couple of other people I met was this guy here, Kane Hodder. He played Jason in parts 7 through 10. Another cool guy. And his claim to fame when doing Jason, as far as doing it differently from other people who played Jason, he really kind of over exaggerated the breathing. So you see his chest go in and out, which I always thought was kind of odd. It was like, what is he a smoker? Does he have emphysema? Why is he breathing so heavily? But that was his kind of trademark for Jason. And in part 7, the new blood, Laura Park Lincoln, who was really adorable and was still very beautiful as she aged. That's her there. Sadly, she passed away last year, almost a year ago, in April of 2025, at the very young age of 63 from breast cancer. She fought breast cancer for several years, and so I was very sad to learn that. So that's the cast that I met. I'm going to go through some of the Also, I want to show you this too before I get too far down the list. I've got a couple of soundtrack CDs that were signed by Harry Manfredini. That's one of them. There was a Friday the 13th TV series, which I loved. I thought it was great. It really had nothing to do with the film. It was just trying to cash off of the name. I guess there was some consideration at some point of in this basement vault where they had all these cursed objects that maybe they were going to have a Jason Friday the 13th hockey mask, but that never came to fruition. So there never really was any direct tie-in, but I thought it was a great series. Um, so that's that. This is the shirt that I wore, by the way, when I went to visit the camp. Still have it. And so I went around the area again before I get into camp pictures. I went around to some of the highlights of the area that were in the film. I passed the cemetery where the truck drives by just before the driver drops off Annie. Um, I went to some of the areas where Annie walked. There's kind of like an archway that she walks through. I went there. Um, there's a diner that she goes into to ask for a ride or for directions to the camp. And that diner is unfortunately no longer a diner. It's sort of like an antique curio shop, which is too bad that it didn't stay a diner. There's an area there where Ralph shows up on the bicycle and warns Annie not to go to the camp. And that area, that sort of sidewalk area, used to be painted red during the film. It was red, and you can still see some of the red paint there on there. Um, Also, I went to the diner where Mr. Christie, Steve Christie, the character Christie, goes in and has a cup of coffee and whatever. And this is the shirt that I bought from the diner. It's called the Blairstown Diner because it's in Blairstown. And somewhere I've got a menu as well, a paper menu from it. I met the owner. It's different from the way the diner was in the movie. They've kind of renovated it and changed things around. But I actually ate there. Very good food, very nice people. Got a picture with a couple of the cute waitresses. So that was cool to see that and to see those places. So let's turn our attention now to the actual camp, which is kind of off in the boonies. I think it took me an hour or an hour and change from the airport to drive to the camp. So you get there, you get the entrance sign, the cabin in the beginning of the film where Alice is kind of repairing the rain gutters. That's gone. I guess it just fell apart and they never replaced it. I wish they would. I wish they would use the revenue from the visitors to build a new one, but they haven't done that. That's gone. It's just like a overgrown area now. Um, I saw Alice's cabin, which is where they chop the snake up. I saw the uh, sort of bathroom, outhouse, shower cabin, which they put in a sink and they put in some shower stalls that aren't shower stalls. They're just stalls. There's no showers in there. So, like I say, they try and do some things here and there to sort of emulate the film, but it's not really that. But it was still cool that they did that. Um, I saw the Kevin Bacon cabin where he gets the knife through the throat from below the bunk. I was told that when I was there, I don't remember if I asked the question or somebody else asked the question about Kevin Bacon, if he ever went back to the camp or had plans to go to the camp, and was told no, he hasn't been there since the filming back in 1980. And I guess they've been in touch with his people about him going there and visiting. And I don't remember what the excuse was. He was too busy, or, yeah, he'll put it on the list at some point, whatever. But he's never been there, and I think that would be very cool. And they would certainly get a lot of people to go and visit if they could see Kevin Bacon. Um, and then I saw, some various other areas. I did not see the area where the very first girl gets killed in the sort of the barn, the upper level of the barn. I think they were originally giving tours there, and I think they shut it down because of some safety concerns or something. So I didn't get to see that. I didn't see the archery area. I didn't see the generator room, which they've only opened that up on a few select tours. And I believe, I'm pretty sure there's a different generator in there now than what was in the film, uh, you know, 40 plus years ago. So there's some areas that I still need to see, and maybe one day I'll go back there and see it. They have a big open area which serves as the sort of cafeteria. They have tables there. They had a big screen. They would play the original movie. Um, you can't really go off on your own. It's a guided tour. They require you to stay with your guide. Again, I guess it's for safety reasons. But it was a great experience. You may want to consider it if you're really into the film, and if you can kind of plan it around when some of the stars will be there, then you can, kill two birds with one stone and meet some of the people as well as see the camp. So I guess that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you would, and certainly pass this on if you know anybody who likes this kind of thing. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to each other. Be kind to me with your comments, but be kind to each other. And we'll see you next time right here. Thanks for watching.
Stations Guy.